Hey students, how you guys doing today? Sorry I'm a little late to maybe getting this overview out, so hopefully some of you guys might have already started it, but hopefully that this overview will still be okay for you. So a couple of things. First of all, this section is going to be about earthquakes. We're going to be talking about earthquakes and how earthquakes relates to plate tectonics in relationship to stress and strain. We're going to learn how these earthquakes mitigate. How we can mitigate earthquakes, and we can discuss how often they occur here in the southeastern U.S. So the objectives are as follows. Make sure you explain what an earthquake is, what processes cause earthquakes, how earthquake energy moves through the earth, interpret the meaning of an earthquake size, as discussed in the media. We're going to calculate this, and so you need to be able to figure that out. And the text does an okay job at it, but the lecture slides do a better job at explaining that, so make sure you understand that. Describe the basic concepts behind the methods used to measure and locate earthquakes. We're going to talk about a little bit, and how to actually do what we call triangulation to be able to figure out where an earthquake epicenter is. We're going to talk about how that would relate earthquakes to plate tectonic theory, and distinguish among the different ways that earthquakes trigger damage. Like liquefaction is a great one. We just had some pretty massive earthquakes, and they didn't hit the news as much, but they had a pretty devastating effect on Japan just earlier this year. Let's see here, you can have tsunamis. We had that in Japan a couple years ago, right? And we'll talk about those a little bit. We'll talk about the prediction of earthquakes and what the limitations are on there. It's really impossible to predict one really much more than 30 seconds out. I know it's not very much time. That's what everybody wants to figure out, is how to predict them better. Right now we have not been able to figure that out, and there's too many variables in that to be able to in the future. So we're going to be able to figure out how we can mitigate those, not knowing when it's going to happen, but we can mitigate the losses by preparing ourselves for them, right? And then we're going to understand the difference between risk, hazards, and vulnerability as we do so. So make sure you do that. Your reading here is going to be from Chapter 8. You can see it from there, and the glossary of the material therein. Lecture material, there's some of them that I have to redo and look at with the other stuff. So these ones for some reason don't have closed captions. I'll try to fix that, but if that's a problem, please let me know. But I'll try to fix it sooner than later so that it doesn't have an issue for that. I'm going to try to correct that. Forgot about that. Anyway, so just remember that. That's there. The lecture should be good enough for you, and always that there's the extra animations there. So this week you'll have an online activity. Make sure you go ahead and do that online activity as always. And then you're going to start reviewing for your exam. There is no discussion this week, and so that will be fine for you. Just to let you understand that. Let me go to the module real quick, back to the module page. And so what you're going to be doing here is this week there is the exam on the 19th. Okay, so let me go to the calendar real quick and go to your guys' class. And let's turn that off. Turn on your guys' class. There we go. And so so we're going to be doing only activity we have is this online activity because we have fall break, right? And that's why we don't have a discussion. But we're going to start getting ready for the exam, and so we will have an exam 2 review quiz next week. We still have no discussion because I don't like to do those on exam weeks, and then exam 2. Okay, so just realize that this module covers these 2 weeks, the front part of this week, and then next week. And so, but just to prepare you for that as we go. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Hopefully, if you have questions, let me know. I love earthquakes. It's one that's a lot of stuff to it, but it should be pretty easy, I would suggest, and it's not terribly hard material. But these lecture slides, this lecture is really an attempt to actually connect all the things that we've talked about with plate tectonics, earthquakes, volcanoes, all that into one thing and how they're all connected. I'll promise you that there are questions on the exam that go over some of this material where it says, well, what kind of plate boundary would have this kind of volcano? What kind of plate boundary would have this kind of earthquakes? What kind of faults it has, and so forth. So this slide, it's just a large slide, and you can click on it and actually look at the image a little closer. But also you can. These review slides are me just basically walking through this whole thing, right? And I draw it out as I go. So hopefully that will help you. Some students liked it in the past. To help them to put things together, and I hope that you do as well, and maybe helps you make these connections that maybe you've been having problems with. But anyways, so that's that. Anyways, I'll get to your guys's. Make sure I'll be grading the discussion pages. I kind of haven't done last week's because I gave you that extra time yet, and I'm hoping to do that tomorrow and get that done. Anyways, if you have any questions, please let me know, and I will answer you as best I can.